at Susan Bassey. Like the fish with an eye. Thanks, you guys rocked. Did you tell them about the right to record in public? Thank you. We'll educate them one at a time. Appreciate it. There goes San Jose PD, and they actually handled it well. Response time was a little lower than you'd see in Los Gatos, but they did arrive. They brought 2 units, and probably now the judges are all going to try to call for security to escort them down the street while I'm recording because it's so big and scary. They do not know what. Look at them all run in there. Look at them all run behind the curtain. They just do not know what to do because they've all got to get out of that room with me recording. So we're going to sit here and we're going to keep recording.
This is Susan Bassey, and it's time to talk lawyers, judges, and their equivalent of internal affairs, and what that means when it comes to your money and the justice you get in court.
Because you're that litigious, Bill. How's that malpractice insurance coming? And misusing your trust account and then pulling strings at the state bar to get out of that. How about that?
Defamed me by making statements which are not true.
No, I can prove it.
In California, like most states, if attorneys take money from their clients or commit misconduct that inflicts injustice on others, it isn't the police or prosecutors who get involved, it's the state bar, or the clients who have to hire another attorney to sue the bad attorney in court. For over a decade, California's state auditor has sounded the alarm about the dysfunctional and corrupt state bar. It has issued reports about the failings of the state bar when it comes to client and public protection. The bar's response was to dumb down their exams and continue to ignore most complaints, and that has allowed attorneys to get away with misconduct, just like we see in policing. And most recently, the state auditor said the bar continues to be financially irresponsible, despite getting money from state and federal taxpayers, as well as from attorneys themselves in the form of licensing fees. For as long as the state bar has protected dirty attorneys over the public and their clients, attorneys have only paid a few $100s a year in licensing fees, as they charge clients hundreds of thousands of dollars and get to use trust accounts that have very little oversight because the interest in those accounts is paid directly to the bar, not to the clients whose money the interest is earned on. And in 2025, attorneys had a slight increase in their licensing fees by $88. And oh, did the attorneys whine about an increase that is similar to what families endured just through basic inflation and cost of gasoline at the pump.
Who accepted the same settlement agreement I obtained for her in the exact same terms.
Ooh, Judge Pennypacker. I'm pretty sure Judge Pennypacker, who's speaking today, said that that agreement was invalid. So Judge Pennypacker ruled that you didn't do your legal job. Judge Pennypacker is at this event as a speaker. She is a noticed speaker. You going to talk about that case, Bill?
This was a luncheon hosted by the San Jose Trials Lawyers Association at a ritzy downtown hotel, where Judges Emity and Pennypacker were invited to speak and dine with lawyers who appear before them regularly in court. And these are the kind of professional organizations and events where judges and lawyers mix and mingle, and there may be free food and little discussions held off record that the judges never seem to get around to disclosing. And these are the type of events that create an appearance of unfairness. It makes us feel like the attorneys are actors or private club members, where out-of-area attorneys and people who have to represent themselves in court don't know the secret handshake or rules in their own legal proceedings that are supposed to be governed by the rule of law.
Have a nice lunch, Bill. Be sure you listen to what Judge Pennypacker says, because her order says you didn't do your job right in that case and the settlement was void. Judge Pennypacker's speaking today, and she's ruled disfavorably for Bill Dresser, claiming that all the work he charged the client $300,000 for was void, but he says he got a settlement.
According to the judge rules and the rules of the legal profession, judges are supposed to discipline attorneys when they know they've engaged in misconduct. Even misconduct such as doing $350,000 worth of work that you know was useless and incompetent. But we find too often the judges are more interested in socializing with the attorneys and being friends with them than disciplining them.
Hello, Judge Emity. I'm Susan Bassey. I've been recording people going in and out of here. Bill Dresser's in there, by the way.
Judge rules also require judges to treat members of the public, self-represented litigants, and attorneys equitably when it comes to spending their time educating about the courts. Judge Emity is the court's presiding judge, which means she gets extra money in public pay to manage the administrative matters of the entire court system here in Santa Clara County. Yet she spends her time with attorneys and snubbing reporters and members of the public she is too busy to speak with on the way to her fancy lunch.
Okay, serving a judge as a basic procedure when done at the courthouse is that the server goes to the courthouse, identifies that the judge is in the building, and goes to their judicial assistant and serves the papers. Apparently here in Santa Clara, it's a different process.
Judge Emity, yesterday there was a court watcher that came down from San Mateo County, and she was court watching because she's going to have her own divorce case. And she went into Judge Cindy Hendrickson's courtroom, and they started complaining about her being there. They made a big deal about her having her phone. They shut her phone off, and they made her sit in the front row, and they embarrassed her. She wasn't even a litigant. And they started being concerned about whether she was court watching for somebody. Do you have any comment on that, Judge Emity? Judge Emity, how much more money do you make a year as an administrator for the presiding judge of the court? The public really has a right to know that. Would you like to talk about your administrative duties, Judge Emity?
This video was taken a few weeks before Judge Julie Emity and Judge Cindy Hendrickson were named in a federal lawsuit. And following that, Judge Cindy Hendrickson was named in a disqualification motion where she was accused of acting with bias and unfairness and violating the judge rules in failing to disclose her conflicts of interest related to a political body she sat on with divorce attorney Nicole Ford. She was also accused of not disclosing her relationship with the nonprofit known as Women SV, an organization we reported extensively on that referred a lot of divorce attorneys a great deal of business. Cindy Hendrickson, like all other judges, is a political figure, and she ran for judge in 2018. And we must always remember that judges are political figures and part of the government, and therefore they're subject to free speech and public recording on sidewalks and in places where they may be meeting with lawyers and having cozy relationships out of the public eye. And they, too, will have to get used to being recorded in public, just like police have.
At Susan Bassey. Like the fish with an eye. Thanks, you guys rocked. Did you tell them about the right to record in public? Thank you. We'll educate them one at a time. Appreciate it.